Hello and welcome to Cracked Open, a podcast guiding you on your journey to becoming a vessel of unconditional love. And this is your host, Beck Milonis, High Priestess, Channel, and Activator. Join me on this series as I share reflections, insights, and channel transmissions from my journey of walking the initiation path. Each episode is a unique transmission containing supportive frequencies to facilitate the deepest healing, activation, and reconnection with your soul. I invite you to open your mind and set the intention to receive this episode into your heart space. Let's go. Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome back to another episode of Cracked Open, a podcast guiding you to become a vessel of unconditional love, to be a vessel of unconditional love, because you already are. Give me one moment. I'm just going to go live on Instagram. So hello and welcome. If you're joining me, drop down, say hey. It has been a very hot minute since I've been live. In truth, what I'm going to talk about today is going to explain why I haven't had this huge compulsion to come on social platforms, to be inverted commas if you can't see because you're listening to the audio of this, teaching or sharing or preaching at anyone what my beliefs are or how to do this thing we call life, right? I think there is this point, and this is what I want to speak about today. Just a lot of energy moving through me. Let me get my words. I've asked God to speak through me today and be very clear. So I'm calling those who really need to hear this today, who there's something in this for you, to this live, to this podcast episode, to this transmission, so you can receive what you need to receive in this moment, right? I'm not here for me, I'm here for you. I just need to say that. So once we have gone through this journey of awakening, a lot of people talk about the awakening journey. They talk about spiritual awakening, healing, right? Shedding all the identities and the demands and the pressures and the things that we're carrying, our human is carrying. I want to say this just so you're forewarned. I'm like day 3 of my bleed. I'm like hyper emotional. Prob's gonna cry through this whole fucking thing, and it's perfect, right? So when we move through awakening, what I've noticed with myself and what I'm also noticing with a lot of people close to me and in this space, once we've gone through this process of stripping back all of these identities and egoic desires, and they're not bad. I talk a lot about desires, and I've spoken a lot about desires on here and how they are guiding us to like what we're here truly to create as a soul and experience. I believe our desires are so God-given, right? But many of those desires are coming from this place of still needing to prove, still needing to be someone, still needing to feel fucking worthy. And this beautiful, yet a little bit disorienting thing happens when we strip all of that back and we let go of, oh, here come the tears, all of the things that we've been carrying and the stories we've been telling ourselves and these identities we've built to feel important, to feel wanted, to feel needed, right? I see a lot in this spiritual space, a lot of wounded children. And it's not like I'm shitting on people, right? I'm just saying what I see and what I experienced in myself is this wounded inner child wanting to feel special, wanting to feel heard, wanting to feel like they're holding something, they get something that someone else doesn't get. They're the chosen one. They've found the codes. They've understood something, right? When you let go of that, because you truly come to this place where you are just love, right? You fucking just are it. Like there's there's nothing to prove. There's no one you need to be. There is nothing you need to reach. You just fucking love, right? You just are love. You live your life as love. You breathe love. You feel the presence of God in you as like an internal sense of always being fucking held, always being worthy, always being supported. You kind of get to this place where the desire to create what you used to be creating maybe falls away because maybe some of the things that you were creating were still coming from this place of needing to prove or needing to feel like you have your shit together or needing to save people or needing to live up to some higher mission, some soul mission that you feel is this heavy fucking. Well, for me, I can only relate to how it felt for me. I always felt this like heavy pressure, this karmic baggage that was guiding me through the past 6 years. Like I had to fucking get somewhere. I had to clear my karma. I had to get right with God. I had to atone for all the shit that I'd done in past lives. I had to like reach all these people I was here to reach. My books had to fucking do well. This podcast had to be reaching. Like I had so much pressure. I can only speak from my own experience, right? And hoping that that serves. There was this pressure on me to need to be someone, to be seen as someone who was wise, who had codes, who got it, right? To be validated by the people that I serve and then being like, wow, how enlightened you are, enlightened one, how much love you hold, how beautiful you are, how divine you are, all of these things. When you actually truly return to God, all of that fucking falls away, all of it. And you reach this place and it feels like death, but it also feels like this stillness. And it's this complete disillusion of an identity, of all identities, where you even feel like I have lost drive or motivation completely. Like, I don't fucking feel like I need to show up and share content and speak and teach. Because who the fuck am I to teach anyone anything? Everyone's a teacher, everyone has wisdom, right? I don't feel this need to share my life. And which is ironically what I'm kind of doing in this moment, but there's a point to it, right? Like it's to highlight the before and the now. I don't feel a need to share all my downloads and my codes and the mysteries that I'm learning about because they're for me. It's personal. It's not someone else's experience. It's what's guided me to get to this point to connect to God. Once you have that connection, it's like all of that shit fucking falls away. And when all that shit falls away, it's kind of hard to motivate yourself. When you're not motivated by money, you're not motivated by getting a following, you're not motivated by desiring to be seen or felt or heard by thousands of people to validate your ego, to be seen as something or someone. You just stop feeling this need to prove. You stop feeling this need to speak, right? I have this thing going on lately when people ask me, they hear about what I do or what I've done or who I am, how I live my life, and they're so excited and they want to know. And I used to be so fucking lit up about coming on here and talking about these spiritual concepts and talking about my journey and writing books about it. And oh my God, like I learned this thing and it's so fucking cool. And I would be so lit up to share the good news with people, to share this stuff with people. And I'm finding like lately, when people ask me, or they're like, wow, that's so cool. And they want to talk to me about their spirit guides, or they want to talk to me about these weird, crazy synchronicities they've experienced. I'm just fucking bored. I'm like, I don't, cool, like, great, like, amazing. But I just don't feel like I have anything to offer in that space. Like, I don't desire to be, it's not that I don't desire to be in that world, because I think I'm a fucking Pisces. I'm a mystic. I'm always going to walk in this realm. But I just don't, there's no need to fill the space with words anymore, right? Because once you've reached this point of not needing to be seen as anyone or be accepted or be heard or be seen as the one who has the knowledge and the wisdom and knows what they're fucking talking about or has the capacity to heal, like when you let go of all of that, you kind of lose the words. Like there's not much to say because you are that, like you emanate that. And it's just about existing, really. It's just about being here, being human. My priorities have shifted vastly in the past 2 years in such a big way. Like, I don't desire the things that I thought I desired. And what I'm seeing is really nourishing me is like stability, grounding, routine, community, just this wholesome fucking life where I'm looking at this like tiny house to move in and land on property. And all I want to do is like create, right? I just want to create. I want to build websites. I want to design. I want to make music. I don't desire to show up in the ways that I used to show up. I don't desire to live to the, I don't know what the word is, live to the level or the standard that I used to put on myself. And I don't desire to show up on Instagram and share and teach and run programs and do all this stuff that used to feel so compelling to me. Because when you reach a point, you realize there is nothing to teach, there is nowhere to get to, there is nothing that you need to be or you need to heal to be worthy of being held, being protected, being guided, feeling fucking alive. So, what happens in this like void space between the moment where you let go of all of that and you're like, oh my God, God has asked me to let go of, and this is what's kind of happened to me in the past 6 months. I've been going through this release of my business in the way that it's been, and I've known that it hasn't felt inspired for me for some time. And it's the obedience of, okay, I'm going to fucking let that go because it's what I'm being asked to do, is to walk into the unknown and let go of something that I've been holding on to because it doesn't fulfill me anymore. And that's not to say that I will never show up on here and I will never, I'm coming on here to share some things that I'm offering right now. So it's not that I'm not doing this at all and I'm stepping completely away from it. It's just like how I'm doing it is shifting and how I desire to show up is shifting. And so there's this period between the old and the new where you're in this space of like, well, what used to motivate me doesn't motivate me anymore. What I used to desire isn't motivating me anymore. And I don't know what's next. So I kind of just feel like it's not numb, but it's just like this presence of just being here and just existing and just being fucking human, right? And when you've spent enough time in that, I'm just going to sit here in this silence, in this void, in this release of everything that I thought I was and who I thought I needed to be and where I thought I was going. And that vision doesn't resonate anymore. Those labels don't resonate anymore. So what do I choose then to like put my energy on? What do I want to create from that place? What we desire to create. I'm holding this in my hand. I'm going to have a sip. What we desire to create from a place where we are already so fucking supported, so held, so seen, so loved, so whole from within that we don't desire anything or need anything outside of ourselves to feel loved, to feel validated, to feel worthy, to feel good enough, to feel lit up. What we create from that place and from the place of truly, truly fucking knowing God's love in our lives as a everyday state of being that we do not fucking have to earn anything. We do not have to prove anything. We don't even need to control anything because it's all being held and orchestrated for us. The actions that we take, the places we go, the people we hang out with, how we show up, what we choose to put our energy into is so fucking different. And there's this adjustment period between the old and the new. When you've reached this point of awakening that no one really talks about, it's like, so I've awakened and I've healed. And it's not like I'm fucking healed forever and there's never going to be anything. Like, we are human. There's always going to be things that come up in new levels and iterations. And I talk about that a lot on here. What if you didn't need to be fucking healed to have a life that was beautiful? What if you didn't need to reach some endpoint of awakening where you were fully ascended to really live your fucking life? You stopped waiting for some future point when the soulmate's here, when the clients are here, when the money is here to truly feel fucking good enough, right? Ironically, that's at the point when things start to materialize miraculously and so easily. And we realize that we never had to be anyone else. We never had to be anywhere else to receive what was always meant to be ours anyway. And it might not look the way that we anticipated that it would look, but it's what we're truly yearning for on some level, on a soul level, to experience. I was talking to a sister this morning about, I'm out here in Queensland and I've moved back after a couple months away on my final, maybe final, I don't know if it's final, but my last mystery school in Bali, and been going through this huge, like lots of things closing as everyone is, year of the snake. Like it's still, we're kind of like in it, wrapping everything up, stripping back. And I'm coming back here to finally ground an anchor, which feels like it's been a fucking lifetime in the making. And I'm calling in this home. And I'm pretty good with manifesting, like leaving things open for God to show me. And I didn't have a whole lot of um prerequisites, right? I had a list. It has to be filled with sun, it has to feel good, it has to be on land, it has to feel like quiet, peaceful. I want a nice place. It needs to be modern. I need to be able to like decorate it nicely. I have a list of things like AC, non-negotiable, internet, right? Need that for work. And I'm starting to have these places show up into my awareness. And obviously, because I hear and receive things and I speak to God every single day, I've received like it's gonna show up in this time frame and this is how it's happening, and they're renovating it now, so it's not ready. Anyway, this place showed up for me through a friend, which is kind of how I heard it would be. I haven't checked it out yet, so I don't know if it's the place, but my heart is opening to it's not what I thought, right? It's not exactly what I was envisioning for myself, but the more I open my heart and lean into, okay, why is my soul showing me this? And maybe this is what is good, like a tiny home. I never saw myself living in a fucking tiny home, but maybe it's showing me something. There's something in this that my soul is like, hey, maybe you don't actually need to live in this specific configuration in this location or be doing this job in this way. Like maybe what would really fucking satisfy you is so much more simple than that. I think a lot of us are craving simplicity in our lives because a lot of this, I wouldn't say industry, but this space is confusing and it's convoluted. And there's this language that people use and these rules, and it feels like bondage. I think a lot of the time it feels like bondage. And so when we let that go and we just come back to simplicity, and like, what does my human want to create in this moment? What feels good for me? If I was already held, if I was already loved, if I had nothing to prove, what would I create? Life starts taking some really interesting and different turns. And it feels very quiet. It feels very peaceful. It feels very understated. It's not this big fucking dramatic thing anymore. And you stop striving to be anywhere or do anything. But then the desire to create comes just from this genuine desire to create. I just want to fucking create because it feels good, right? And that's why I've been pouring all my energy lately into web design and marketing and those projects, because that's what I realized recently. I was working on this site for a beautiful sister of mine, and I was so fucking lit up doing that. Like I was, losing all day, like just I'd work all day at the cafe, I'd come home and I'd just be like still wanting to do it because it just feels so alive and good and juicy for me. And like, what's fucking wrong with that, right? What's wrong with doing something that just feels good for the sake of it just feels good? Doesn't necessarily need to be this big soul mission. It just feels like this is where my energy wants to go. And I don't know why, but it feels juicy, right? And since I've started leaning more and more into like what feels just really juicy for me to create, if I could create fucking anything I wanted to create right now, just from a place of pure pleasure and joy, what is it that I want to create, right? Without having to prove, without needing to be, without having to reach something, without a purpose, just what do I want to fucking create? And if you knew that creation was your only priority and all you had to do was just create what felt fucking good and juicy and alive, and it didn't even need to succeed in like human terms, it didn't need to fucking be something, just you following that impulse of what feels good for you right now is what you're meant to be doing. I just want you to imagine how different your life would be if you put down that heavy fucking bag that you have been carrying to have to be somewhere else or someone else or more. And you just did in this moment what felt fucking alive for you, what felt good, knowing that you were so supported. You were held, you were loved. It's the right decision because it's what you want to create, right? There is no wrong thing for you to create or desire to have or want to experience. It is human perception and conditioning that tells us it needs to be this, or it needs to look different, or that's not enough, right? When you feel like you are already enough, you have enough, because you remember the infinite allness that you are, what you create and what you desire to create really shifts, because it's like, well, fuck it. I'm here now in this human experience. It's like choose your own adventure. I could create literally fucking anything that I desire to create in this moment. So what is bringing me joy, right? I don't know if, right now it feels really aligned and juicy for me to just pursue Mystica and expand that and call in amazing fucking clients and nurture that. Like, that's where I'm at. I'm like, this is where my life is. I desire to be on this land and keep building my community and really set in roots and anchor and like spend this beautiful time with my friends out here. Like, that feels juicy for me. Making music feels like these things feel good. I don't know in 3 months if I'm still going to feel like that. And it doesn't fucking matter, because in 3 months, it'll be that moment in 3 months. And maybe in 3 months, after doing this for a while, God will come and say, hey, it's time to run a retreat or a pilgrimage or a mystery school or write another fucking book. And that's great, right? In that moment, it will be divine and it will be perfect. And I will take whatever wisdom or whatever experience or journey that I've had in this moment to bring it into that moment. But when we're always trying to create from some fucking future ideal or version, or if I'm not here, if I'm not there, if I'm not at this place, then I'm going to feel unfulfilled. It's like we're always in this gap between fulfillment and lack, right? There is nothing in this moment that you cannot access just from feeling and sensation. And from feeling and sensation connecting to the part of you that fills that void, that hole, which again, it's God, it's what I'm talking about. It's like a higher presence in our lives. And when you feel that from within, and you know that every decision, every move, every fucking thing that you do is guiding you somewhere beautiful, and you don't know where, like, it's like maybe just let go of where the fuck I'm going anyway, and don't have this fixed, rigid vision of, like, let God surprise you. Let life surprise you. But don't exist in this future fucking moment all the time of when I'm healed, blah, blah, blah. This will happen. That will happen. I'll feel this. It's like, no, feel that now. Feel fucking good enough now. Feel wealthy now. Feel fulfilled now. Feel held now. Feel loved now. Life is happening now. It's not happening 3 years in the future when your soulmate is here or when you have your $1 million mansion. Like, I'm fucking promising you, in that moment, things are going to not be that different, because you're going to get used to that external stuff and you will still be the same. On some level, you will still feel the same if you tap into those emotions now. and the the perfection of what is unfolding now and where you are now and who you are now. Stop fucking waiting to live your life. Stop waiting to feel worthy and good enough to have whatever it is. I've been reading the Bible lately, which is like crazy turn of events for me. And I still am finding a lot of problems with it as I'm reading it. I'm reading it to get even closer to Jesus because I fucking adore Jesus. I love Jesus. And God said to me the other day, read the Bible. And it's really funny because I've had all sorts of random people giving me pamphlets to read the Bible lately. And I just think it's hilarious. I'm like, okay, point heard. I'm going to open my heart and read it from an objective, neutral place and see what it has for me. And what I kind of love about it is if we get rid of all of the, like, there's a lot of shame and judgment and guilt and heaviness involved that I'm not subscribing to, right? I don't need to fucking subscribe to fear or limitation. But what I do love about it is it's so fucking simple. There's such a simplicity in Jesus's words and what he teaches in so much of it. Like, there isn't this complication and confusion. Love yourself, love another like you love yourself. Don't fucking kill people. Like, you know that your father is in you and it doesn't matter what you've done and who you are. You're like, sin is absolved in the hand of God, by the hand of God. That's pretty fucking liberating stuff, right? When you strip back all this like past life baggage and karma and like heaviness. If God truly, truly loved us and forgave us and we were God's children, which I believe that we are, and I don't need to subscribe to a religious framework to know and feel that as a state of being. None of that fucking shit, man. It doesn't matter what you've done, who you've been, what happened to you in your childhood. There is literally nothing that is out of the hands of God's love, right? God's forgiveness, God's grace, God's mercy. There is nothing, there is no situation, no circumstance that God hasn't got handled for you. And when you live your life from that place of like, oh, God, or some higher part of me, if you want to think of God as an internal gnosis, which I love too, because I know God is like external, but it's also internal for me. I have a very Gnostic view of the world, right? I really vibe with Gnostic texts and seeing it as like seeing Jesus's words as this is something that we find within the Father is within us, and this is how I live my life. I am of him, so therefore he's always with me, right? Then you start to love yourself the way that God loves you, and you're like, fuck, I am worthy of some really good shit in my life happening. I am worthy of being held. I am worthy of things being orchestrated for me. I am worthy of this being easy and simple and guided. I am worthy of my house showing up like so fucking divinely by a friend and I just having a conversation. I don't have to go through the fucking real estate and I don't have to go through searching on the internet and trying to like prove myself based on my income and my salary and all these fucking bullshit human things we've created. No, God has the place for me already and he's going to bring it to me. And there is nothing I fucking have to do to be worthy of that because God wants us all to feel held and safe and nourished and protected and loved and resourced, right? It's us. It's our human minds and our conditioning and our limitation that tells us we can't be. We are already fucking held. We are already worthy. We are already loved beyond belief, right? Right now, as you are, exactly as you are, you are so fucking loved because you are love, right? You are so held because you're held by all of life. It's our humans believing that we need to be somewhere else or someone else to be worthy of that, like performing, being the good girl, right? All of this conditioning or good boy or thinking that we need to uphold a certain standard. What I've learned so far from reading the Bible, guys, and it's not the first time, like I went to an Anglican all-girls school. I've been baptized in the Greek Orthodox Church, so I do know a thing or two about the Bible, which is what repelled me from it at the first place. At the hands of people, not God, but at the hands of people jamming shit down my throat when I was younger. I was like, fuck this shit, I am out. right? But returning to it and reading it again, one thing I'm learning, it's fucking loud, is that God's love is without conditions, limitless. You don't need to earn grace. You have it. You just have it, right? So if you already had it, you already knew you were infinitely supported, what would you create from a place of childlike innocence and joy and wonder, and might just create some shit and see what happens, right? And living that now as a human in all your imperfections, not needing to be more healed, not needing to figure out what block was it that made me not believe I was worthy, and just going straight to the source and letting God's love dissolve that. So if I do any sort of work in this realm, and this is kind of where it's always been at anyway, so it's not anything different, but I'm just like really drawing a line in the sand. I do not want to feed into this model in this industry of you are broken, you need healing, you need to manifest harder, you need to fucking put your crystals out in the new moon, and that's what's going to get you your home. It's like, no, God fucking has it already organized for me, and all I need to do is get out of the way, right? This is where I'm at, and this is what I want to invite people into. And it's not even healing, it's just remembering, and hopefully being in my energy, being in my field helps you to remember that, because that's what I believe. And I'm not even fucking calling myself a teacher anymore, because I, again, like, I believe we all are teachers, but that's what any good mentor or guru or shaman or prophet fucking does anyway. They just lead you back to God. They lead you back to what is already within you, right? Being in their space, being in their energy, being in the, this is mastery that is embodied because it's through the practice of life, right? I didn't go and do a healing certification or fucking learn any of the shit that I teach. I teach through my experience, through what my human has had to go through and integrate and learn through lessons, through experiencing life and experiencing and moving through and holding myself through shit. And that's what I believe Christ consciousness is. It's like when you get to a certain point, then you just live your life this way. It's not a fucking performance. It's not a question. It's not something that you are sometimes and you aren't sometimes. You just live your whole life by these principles, by this faith. It's like this faith is everything. And there's no separation between you and like your spirituality, because everything is spiritual, right? And so then when people come into your field, they learn just by observing you and feeling you, and that's it. They see how you go about situations. Like when you're in a dire situation, do you collapse into fear, or do you hold fucking crazy ass faith and trust that it's all going to work out, right? And so then that's how you teach, through your embodiment. And I think that's what we're all moving into. And that's why a lot of people as well have, like myself, have felt like this desire to, will no longer feel this desire to stand up here and teach concepts. Like, I don't want to fucking teach you concepts. I want you to live your life and know that you too can have an experience where you feel so held, so loved, so protected, so guided all the fucking time. There is nothing that I have experienced that you cannot experience. And I understand now Christians going out and sharing the good news because they're so fucking chuffed that they can live their life from this place of feeling so held and so loved, and like, oh, this burden is lifted off me of not always having to try and figure shit out for myself. God has my back, right? My prayers have been answered. I was like in bed crying this morning with joy and just like, fuck, God is so good. God is so good. The miraculous things I've seen in my life and I've seen in other people's lives that like they could not have orchestrated from their human selves. Even just, I think about my parents and like their move recently, and I'm just, oh my heart like feels so full, because neither of them have been on a fucking healing journey. If you knew my parents, you would know there's a lot of work for them to do still. But there isn't as well. Like everything I've just said doesn't fucking matter. And they still had this beautiful miracle orchestrated for them where everything lined up for them to move into this beautiful home, which is surrounded by nature. And it's so calming. And I'm hearing my mom calling me and she's like, I'm making friends and I'm working on my creative projects. And my heart feels so full because I'm like, look at what God did for them. And they didn't even have to fucking have faith, right? So this is what I'm trying to tell you. You're so loved. My parents didn't fucking go into the jungle for 5 days and hike and talk to the Mayan ancestors and purge all their ancestral shit. They didn't do any of that, right? To get to where they are and have these miracles work in their life. They're still hella fucking. They've got some human shit, which I love them for. And yet God is still orchestrating, life is still orchestrating things for them. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, it doesn't matter what work you've done, you're held, you're loved, things align. And I remember having this conversation with my mom recently on the phone, and she was like, I reached this point, which was such a turning point for her around the house stuff. And she's like, I saw the house. And she messaged me with the house. And I was like, oh my God, this is the one. I feel it. It's all gonna. And I told her, like, of course, I told her how everything was gonna happen exactly how it happened, even the dates and the timing and the complications towards the end, all resolving themselves. And she said to me, when I saw the house, I felt in my heart, I think this is it. And I'm just gonna release it. And everything fucking orchestrated. And that's as simple as it is. Like, I read all these stories in the Bible and I know all these stories about just the faith of a mustard seed or like the miracles that Jesus did in God's name for people who had faith, even people who weren't religious, right? So if religion has been holding you back from experiencing God's love because of some human shit, I really, really, really invite you to read my second book, Big G Energy, because yeah, I mean, that's definitely an opening. And if you feel called to move into this, it's like place, it's like moving into this place of remembering how God never left, right? The father, the mother, the child within us is always there, it's always active, and let go of. It's like not even have to heal them, it's just let go of and shed these human conditions we put on God's magic, God's love, God's provision in our lives, what we feel like we need to have to be. I'm running Trinity within the next 2 weeks. It's starting, it's a template correction. So literally all it is hanging out with me for 6 weeks and being in this energy where we bring you back to the truth of the internal mother within who holds us and holds all of life, who nurtures us without condition, who loves us, right? So we can return to the childlike innocence and joy of just pure creation and return to the provision, the structure, the direction, the guidance of the Father, which requires us to sometimes have obedience, right? Be obedient to something higher than us, which is telling us, let go of your business or do things this way or no go that way, right? To trust that and not feel jaded by it because we've been jaded by the masculine or power control mechanisms in our life. So that's what it is. It's a template correction. It's a just a space. It's not even a healing container. It's just a space to come to remember and to be held in the energy of, it's like the field of remembrance, right? Of unconditional love that is already residing within you. Reach out to me. If that sounds juicy to you, I'm also going to put a link in the show notes. Yeah, so that's it for me, guys. If you are a soulpreneur, you do some beautiful work out in the world and you're looking for a rebrand, a website, I'm really fucking loving this. I'm so juiced up by this at the moment. I do this all from a very connected place, right? So if you've been listening to this, you know what I don't need to tell you what I'm all about, right? So I take that approach to your marketing, to your branding. So it feels like this holistic, it's not like this 3D marketing versus my soul work that I'm doing. It's like we blend them together. So the soul and the human can have this beautiful synergy where your business then holds you, right? It becomes the structure, the backbone to hold you through your life. So you can support others in whatever beautiful offering and way that you do that in the world. If this resonated, let me know, reach out. If you've been feeling this, drop down in the comments, share your experiences, subscribe, like, share this with someone. If this podcast has served you and you've gotten a lot out of it, please like subscribe, share it with a friend that might need to hear this, or just witness the arc of the journey, right? To get to this place of being like, fuck it all. Like, I'm just going to live my human life. So have a beautiful day, human souls. Have a beautiful day, human souls. I don't know what that means, but we're going to roll with it. I love you. Mwah. Until next time. Thank you for listening to another episode of Cracked Open. Don't forget to hit subscribe and share with a friend if this episode has served you in any way. For more information about the work that I do or to get in touch with me, read the show notes or head to beckmylonis.com. Until next time, beautiful soul.